We don't need to reinvent the wheel here. These guys have been doing a tremendous job over there for years. I mean, they're asking for our help now. You know, they'll still do fundraising. They'll be able to do other things with that money, and like they said, and help us. I mean, it's
I
an
hope they
opening.
start a tournament system, because, you know, I need to start back down here, so I haven't played since college. I heard. But I want you to have a level down here.
I wish all our decisions were this
Okay.
easy.
Do you have an old-timers league?
They don't want to play me.
Yeah, different leagues and different age brackets. We can deal with that, right?
Okay, motion on the...
Just a
oh,
quick thing.
go ahead, one more.
As for the thing on with people using it for commercial enterprise, they're going to have to advertise.
You'll probably hear
So we're
about
going to hear
They'll
about it.
know about it.
And they're going to know about whether, if you're in the tennis circles, you know when there's a clinic going on by whom. They know everyone who teaches. They know Eric at Dartmouth Indoor Tennis. They know everyone who's doing teaching. And if they're going to use the facilities, they're going to hear about it, and they're going to say, hey, now you got to come in and you got to lease it from us or whatever.
Go right ahead, stand up. Say who you are.
Luann Nygaard. We are actually very much support of what Dr. Colley's asking with the relationship where we pay a fee. That way we feel we have the authority to reserve the courts on, for 2 weeks in July when we have clinics and things. So I didn't want you to think that we are offended by this relationship. I think it just, it gives credence to the authority that we have had, what we've been using for the last 7 years, by doing the things that we'd like to continue doing with the school's support. We will police it as best we can, during non-school hours. If somebody in the summer wants to use it, I don't know how available, the school is, to
We're
fill
here
out a
every day.
form.
We're
But if
here.
we have this arrangement and we have the authority to oversee stuff like that, we're available all the time. Like Paul said, we're at the courts all the time, and so we would be more than welcome, more than happy to do that.
Thank you.
Sign up, reserve from
Thank you.
this on Thursday. It'll work.
Yeah, we'll put something out
It's
front.
been working.
Yeah,
It works in every other town.
And I told them maybe we can get something in the front that we can put some notices. So,
Listings of,
because I do see some people who go on a fairly regular basis at certain times of the day, certain days of the week. So if we say, hey, we're going to have a clinic these 2 weeks, between this hour and this hour, those people who tend to go regularly can go look at the chart and say, ooh, these 2 weeks, we got to change our schedule, personal, and go at a different time, maybe at night or maybe earlier in the morning, so we don't bump into the clinic, so we're going to get kicked out.
Are cameras possible at all on the roofs of the school, not on the tennis courts, because those can be broken easily, but a 24-hour loop camera on the schools, looking over to, in case there is any vandalism, you can say, oh, obviously this car pulled up, and I don't know how much, I know you can go to BJ's and buy them dirt cheap, so.
Well, I can tell you, they did them in Nantucket, so I can call over there and find out how much it cost. But they did those through the sheriff's department, because they had some money.
Homeland Security,
believe it or not.
Well, it's still going on, so let's see if we
Okay.
can do it.
But I think
So we got a motion?
motion on the table is to remove the hold off of the resurfacing of the tennis courts and get that done ASAP.
Second.
Yep, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
And if I could just mention,
We
as
actually need
we're
a
going,
second motion on that. Go ahead, Mike. I
well,
think you're about to say it.
I don't think we have to iron out the details. We've got a group here. I think it's worthy of acknowledgement, though, that, we've just taken a vote to maintain one of the nicest facilities throughout our fields and gyms. And we want to thank the Diane B. Snyder Foundation, who has created this tennis complex in a fashion which has resulted in today's newspaper, I think it's 5 students of high school all-star caliber, and that would not have happened without the foresight that the group that stepped forward to build that complex. So I think we as a school committee want to thank you for that.
I think we need to have we spent more than what we had last week, so we need to actually put them on if we add them to the list of things that we had wanted to do, there's not money for them. We need to do like we did with the other 2 items we bumped to the top, and do them instead of this.
Let me I'm pretty sure we can do that, but let me go through the transportation contract and we can talk about money in general.
Okay.
And then we can say where we are, but I think we can do this, so I'll be making phone calls tomorrow. And eventually I'll
Thank
call
you
you
for
guys
coming.
to
Thank
talk
you.
about where we go with the fees.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll have to play tennis.
Yeah, I gotta take that off.
Absolutely.
Okay, transportation contract. Michelle Raposa. Come on down. It's hot up here.
We'll get it done quick.
We'll move along. All right, after many, many weeks of prepping and preparing our 3-year bus contract, we had a bid opening on June 10th at 1 PM. We had Whaling City from Westport, we had Tremblay's from New Bedford, and we had Amaral's Bus Company from Westport. Amaral's came in at a price of $553,860. Tremblay's came in at $687,490.20. Whaling City came in at $854,964. We are suggesting that you recommend Amaral's Bus Company for our next 3-year bus contract.
Thank you.
I can make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend that the low bidder on this process, Emerald's Bus Company, Transportation Company, be awarded the contract as put out for bid. Was it-
Second.
Any discussion?
Go ahead, Mike. Go
Yep,
ahead.
No, I
yep,
want-
you made the motion, so
Go ahead.
you get the floor.
Okay. I just wanted to indicate that I was present in some of the pre-bid hearings, and it's certainly a process that I know very little about. Michelle, as the transportation coordinator,
Oh, she learned through
It was
this
a
one.
learning experience for me also.
is the backbone of the process. And, in partnership with the bidders themselves, we were able to create a contract that comes in below what we budgeted for. And, that's as a result of the cooperative work between all those involved. So it's to be commended. I've had a discussion, as I said, through the bid process that indicates that this low bidder is also an established business here in Westport, and I think next we should have other comments. You have your hand up.
I'm just, through the chair, the starting number of bus routes is at 17, but we are
Yes.
going to work with Emeralds, and are we going to try to get down to the 16, or are we pretty much going to go with the 17 at this point?
We're going to start with the 17. Before we do any changes, obviously, we'd work through Emeralds, and we would actually get together, and I'll talk a little bit about the bus transportation software. It'll take quite a bit of time.
It's a good
Three, 4
3 months
months.
to get everything uploaded and then time to actually have time using it.
Right. So once
probably
that
6 months
happens,
process.
then we will assess whether we can reduce that one route. When we were in the pre-bid conferences, we did explain that was part of what we were putting into the bid and the contract. But it's not going to be willy-nilly. It's going to be, once it goes into the software, we'll not only be able to determine whether we can go down one run, but if that one run reduction increases the amount of mileage on the other runs, what's the shift in cost to those runs? So it's not as simple as to say 17 divided by however much and then 16, it won't be quite that simple. Because.
Mr. Amaral also was here, he came this evening just to
Right.
attend if there were any questions.
And the other thing about the software is it'll allow us to pinpoint where we need to put the kids to be picked up to be more efficient and more effective. Hopefully, maybe even reduce some of the longer runs that sometimes we scratch our head and go, we're going all the way down to the point, way all the way up to, almost the age of
And
whites.
depending on some of our graduates, where they're living at the time, that have left the district, might cut down on distance.
So we'll be able to use it in more ways than just to focus on reducing the one thing. However, talking a little bit, going back to the comment about funding, do we have enough money for the tennis courts, those kind of things. As I explained last time, a lot of these end-of-the-year purchases, we're trying to do them, but if the companies can't deliver in time, and this is why, we're down to the last few days, and we have gotten some, sorry, we can't deliver by June 30th, so those purchases won't happen. So I don't think we're in danger of overrunning our budget in that sense. In fact, that's why I had a longer list than the amount of money that we expected to have, because that happens every year. However, I think that with this bid, perhaps with some of the use of the money in the revolving account, we may actually be able to do the tennis courts and send some funding back to the town. If you remember in the spring, when we did the town meeting, we went in with $150,000 more than what we had last year, which that was an issue for the town because they were saying that's going to be a deficit. So my hope is that we can send back to the town some amount of money. Not exactly sure how much. I'm hoping it's substantial enough to say, hey, we're going to try to, we ask for additional funding, but we're also going to let some money fall into free cash to help the town, and in case there's any stuff that happens between now and the fall town meeting that we don't know about, there's some money left in the pot. Hopefully they'll see that the school's putting it out, and hopefully it'll come back to the benefit of the schools as free cash. So I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Okay. Since he's opened up that door of, and we're a little bit off of what our subject matter was, are we able to prepay more tuitions, though? We have a deadline at the end of the month, but if we prepay tuitions, now we're opening up a new budget in July, and then we can just buy those things.
We've
July.
already done as much as we can.
We've done as much prepaying of
We-
tuitions? Well, I'm in all favor.
There's one.
All in favor of bringing back money to the town, and that's fine.
Yeah, we will
We
be
tried
able to
and-
bring some money to the town as free cash, so that basically when they get together in the fall and try to do the rebalancing, and this will be a piece of it, I'm sure, people will say, oh, they'll point to it. This savings, however, won't be until next
Next
year's
year's.
budget. So hopefully that will help us next year, whether it's with, increases that we don't know about in next year's budget, or, looking at the following year in terms of if there's an increase in gasoline, we'll have to pay for the change in price
At the end of the school year.
at the
though,
end
for
of the
next
school
budget.
year, but this will be part of the monies we'll be talking about. And at the same time, you'll also have a little bit of a cushion in case we get extra kids in special ed. We need those pieces.
Okay.
I don't want to give them all away. And I know, Tony, just to answer your question that I know it's going to come before you ask it,
I couldn't be.
I'm trying to figure a way to put in another teacher in fourth grade. That's a grade that, we keep looking at the numbers and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. So when we settle this year's budget, depending how much money we send back to the town and how much money we've been able to save for next year, maybe we'll use some of this savings in transportation to shift monies to get that fourth grade teacher.
Because that savings will be over 3 years.
Well, it's a saving in year one. Year 2 and 3, you
Back
consider
off of
that,
what you were-
right, you
that's
consider
right.
that in your